Oh, okay. One short at VPOC. I'm watching inside prints. Buyers are winning so far, which tells me I should get out. They offer up again. Well, they lift the bid again, which tells me I should get out. This is back ticking. They walk it lower, and I close for what appears to be break even. That looks like I'm just watching off the queue now. I scratched there, and price just balances at VPOC. Then I chase a short here on what appears to be the absence of buyers at 90.25. Then I flip long on and scratch for a tick loss. We're sitting on the offer now. I flip short. I'm looking for VPOC and sell it, and buyers are losing. They lose 97.50. The sell pressure holds on the ES at 97.50, and it continues there. Their inside prints absorbed at 96 even. They could have been a place so long, especially the upticking. We probably walk it back to VPOC off of that. Yeah. I'm looking for another long down here. There's sell pressure, but the difference is we've already put them in low, 95.75. It looks like it's going to break down. There's a buyer that was absorbed there as well. If we see more down taking, it would be a good place to get short. There's more upticking now. And then a buyer steps in, but they walk it down anyway, 96.50 and 96.25. That tells me it's because it's revisiting the low, it's going to break down. It'll probably go down to about 94.75 and then rebound. We're still sitting there, which is bearish. I don't know what I do here. I flip long. Yeah, and I scratch for a tick loss. We're still sitting on the offer, and then we finally lose 96. We only go 3 ticks out before returning to the balance area, and then I flip short. Price is still sitting there, and then it finally breaks down to 94.25, comes back to 95. This is a long. It's an alright long. It's probably off of inside prints. And then I scratch immediately on down ticking. I think I was just holding it for too long. So priced out at 96 even for a while at the bottom of the value area low and then broke down. Um, then I flipped long on 93.25 in the center of the balance area. When I flip short, and it rallies, it's building out a distribution and it returned to 95.75. So we're outside of the value area now, 95 evens. The both the buy queue and sell queue is heavy. They fill me and then immediately plunge. So I caught a good move on the sell side. Now I'm watching inside prints. We have an LVN at 94.25, which price should be jumping through. typically because it goes through those levels faster. And 26 traded their buy side, and then we come back to it. Not much trades. There's 10, and then the buyers pull the queue again. Okay, it jumps through. I was gonna say it looks like we might go to 93.25. $69 even. Somebody spoofs 250 contracts. I get long off of that because they're artificially pushing the market down. The market's gonna go down a few ticks like it did there, and then they're gonna pull the order and it's going to rally. And then I tried to catch it, but I couldn't. It was a 4-tick run, and there was no liquidity there. I couldn't get filled in the queue. If I slammed a market order, they would have let me out, I think. But that tells me the 69.75s, the 69 evens are real orders, that stack of 40, and that they're not willing to let up and let buyers go higher at that notch there. And I'm trading the value area now, kind of an early entry. 68.98, not 68, yeah, 68.98 even, and I'm trading the return to value, partially off that rejection and the spoof up there and the test of real orders. And I stacked 2 trades here because I like the trade period, and I gave myself a huge stop loss just to see how the market's been playing out, just to see how the market played out. I'd rather do that every day, regardless of P&L. Just trade the order flow and work on trading the order flow and worry about the profit and loss later. That's what I'm gonna do. That's why I moved my stop all the way back just to watch the tape and see how the market develops. I think that was my it prevented me from taking a lot of unnecessary losses yesterday and helped my equity curve out, albeit negative. And I scratched there. I don't know why, because there's 22 and 34 sell side, 98.50. It looks like they're just going to reject it again. I got back in. I scratched again. There are still sellers there, and they drag it lower. So I should have just been more gracious with my trade. 22, 35, 24. Now I'm worried about my stop loss. So after that one trade, I take this is a poor entry because it's right next to VPOC. After that one trade, I take 3 or 4 losses. I take 3 losses. And then we rally and I try to catch buy side. And we're outside of the VA now value area. And we're breaking out to 0125s, the LVN. So if we get above it, there's sustained buying here, but it looks like it's absorbed. Yeah. Well, they hold it, which tells me we're breaking out. They held 0125s. They held 025s, 075s even where my mouse is, and 0125, which tells me we're breaking out. Just a 2-tick scalp. Roni, my dog's here. I'm gonna have to cut this. I'm supposed to take my mom somewhere. Okay. If I get rid of this. Okay. So we're in the LVN now. We hold 01 evens. Though we're balancing between 02 and 01 evens. We hit 01 evens again. 12. It should break down here because it's tested it like 4 times. Sellers step in. I push higher, I just take my take profit. It rallies against me, but we're still losing 01, volume consolidating. I'm looking for, yeah, that was the explosion I missed. And then we're probably going down to 98.50 now. We test 01 evens again. We hold 01 evens, which tells me we're going higher. So value is shifting now. I'm just sitting on my hands watching tape for the most part. VPOC shifts. I'm looking to bid 0075. I go short here at 02 evens because price is consolidated. Let me watch the fill first. So I got in on big buyers, 02 evens, should get out then, just because 73.47 on 02 evens. Liquidity dried up there. It's a good area to trade. It's kind of early. 0175. And then the seller shows up 0175, 45 on the ask. I don't know. They're sitting on the offer. I shouldn't have gotten out, especially when the seller showed up. Either way, it was a good one tick scratch. I get long here on the upticking. They sell twos 0525 and 0550. The seller steps in. This is a big loss I take here. It might be the 1-7 tick loss that separates me from break even. They're clearly selling out of the value area at 0550. Sell side. We see some bids, some upticks, but then it dries up. Sellers are strong off of 0550. That 56 keeps reloading. 62 now, and they're plunging lower from 0525 now. Buyers get absorbed and sellers are still willing to participate there. That doesn't bode well for me. It should explode lower in a second. And then 47 gets absorbed at 05 at 0475 and the auction shifts. So it was a great that's a great example of sell pressure. And I want to see what I get in here. Probably to catch it. We're in the LVN now. We see some upticking and what appears to be the reloading on the ask side. But then the bid switches. 21 trades, 44 trades, 5 evens out, 39. We move up on sellers getting absorbed at 0425. And then there's an active buyer there. The buyer dries up. The buyer dries up again, but they're not willing to sell 0425s. They want to hold 0450s and then they pull. That was kind of an unnecessary loss at a poor area, I think. And then this one, oh my goodness gracious. I pull and slam here on back ticking. They plunge the Q there at 179. Price rallies. The order shifts. I'm holding this against me now because I expect this order at 0625 to pull and price to shoot lower. Instead, it trades. So it wasn't a spoofed order. And then I decided it's time to get out because the order wasn't spoofed. 54 sells, and then the limit and the Q stacks up on sell side. It's still there. The pressure is still there. And then a plunge from active buyers now from 0525 to 0650. I scratched this probably because the auction's shifting higher. Yeah, I'm just throwing trades now. I don't know why I get long here. Kind of a lousy breakout. There are 44 traded, those 725 sell side. We're back taking the opposite direction now. And then we stick around 750. There are 56 traded, then 21. Then sellers look like they get absorbed. Sellers are losing. The Q stacks, and then somebody trades market. Oh, I was watching that 91 that trades. And now buyers really kick in after holding it. This is going to explode in a second because there's 145 on the limit. And people might say, oh, that's absorption, 162. No, they'll just keep throwing until price explodes higher, which is what it did. And then it crossed the LVN off of 197 being absorbed. Then along the low side of the LVN, we see 59 trade at 0550, and then it dries up and 0525 1, meaning there are less active selling participants there. And then we see a couple upticks in my favor, and then buyers step in at 0575, but then a seller shows up at 0550, and then he shows up again big time at 05 evens and 0525s. And now I'm just trying to catch this because we revisited the low over and over again, and then there are sellers below at 0525. I'm just watching the queue to see if they're going to plunge. They're reloading from 9 to 40, so they stack another queue and sellers win, but then they pull it immediately. So it's like they're feeling the market out, if that makes sense. They stack the queue again at 0550, sell side 0525. They stack the queue again, then they pull again. It's like they're trying to bait buyers in there to get absorbed. Like somebody throws 26s at 06 evens. I hope I hold the stop. And I scratch. And we're back at that level now. I flip long. This is probably gonna break down. Well, oh, there's a spoof there at 06 evens, is what I'm trading. So it pulls right here. 06 evens, sell side from 106 to 41. And the Q explodes. Off of that pull, the market adjusts. I'm short down here again on the same thesis that we've been down there 1,000 times. I think it explodes lower to the LVN. We couldn't get above '05, and it looks like we're breaking down now. I was wrong. They're filling out the distribution. Then I get short looking for VPOC. A buyer gets absorbed, 0250. The Q's stacking, sell side. And then there are active participants on the sell side as well. So they're hammering them. And 54, somebody throws it away on buy side. 40, then buyers punch back. but the column is still thicker on the ask. And then they pull the ask, and they're sort of feeling it out again, and they plunge the Q again. And they pull the offer. I think I try to get out for a tick here. If they can empty the Q, but if they empty the Q, I'm more bearish, 0250. And they lose it. I pulled the order. I want to see why I got long here. Okay, we have sellers coming down, and then a jump up. Buyers play. It's at LVN now, and we see a visible, very evident aggression from buyers from the continuous upticking to the buy side, which is bullish. And then sellers push it lower for 3 ticks, but it holds, and those people are absorbed, and they're still sitting on the ask now, the offer. So down ticking now. Buyers appear to run out, which isn't good. And then they fill me and trade lower. I think I took a huge loser here. Not that it matters, but yeah. I'm trying to get in with sell pressure here. Right there, how there are all those sellers. And then the sellers get absorbed, and the passive participant pulls liquidity in. So they pull the asks, even though there's active selling. And I just take a massive loss. Then I come back, and there's still that active selling. And I hit that trade again. And there's still that active selling now. As long as the makers don't pull, and they stack the Q at 09 evens, they stack it again. There's more selling, and it explodes lower. And so it balances out.